much
got
less
$300.
enticing, David.
All right, I got $300. All
All
right,
right,
man.
$300. That's more realistic. Let's go for it.
All right, if I told you I'll give you $300 if you can tell me how we can measure the curvature of the Earth, physically measure the curvature of the Earth, how would you go about doing it?
3 sticks on the same longitude line. Wait till solar noon. Measure the shadows versus the stick length. Figure out the angle.
No, you're presupposing you know how
Nope, not
sticks work.
proposing. One of two
Yes,
things is
you
either
are.
happening. Nope.
Prove to me you know how sticks work.
Nope. You're not proposing anything. One of two things is happening. Either the Earth is flat and the sun is in 3 different locations at the same time, or
you notice how this
we're in a sphere. No, Wolfgang. 8 inches per mile square is a parabola. If you have to look up how to describe a sphere,
You're
then
being
I
too
suggest you look it up.
pedantic here, dude. For all practical purposes, the distances we're working with, it's fine.
It's an estimate.
And if
Don't
you
say
really
don't say
can't
it's
get
how
that
it.
stick out of your ass, go ahead and do all of the
I
calculations
posted the
the right way. It's a fine approximation for what we're doing.
Okay, you said say approximation. Don't say it's the.
Use your formula. It's still going to be a goddamned approximation because you don't have the fucking radius at the various locations down to the money.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do. We have satellites in orbit.
You notice they derailed the conversation, Chemo. Have you noticed that yet?
Derail from what? That you guys. We know. You say we don't know the radius of the Earth, and that's incorrect. We do.
No. I said you don't have it. I'm saying you don't have it precisely, and that's what you're bickering about.
How precisely is precisely? How precisely do you need? George Hanuk.
It's not precise. That's the only point.
What, Wolfgang? What has he done?
That you're fucking bickering about.
Bickering? I'm not bickering. You're bickering. You're telling me that we don't know the radius of the Earth. I'm saying we do.
No, you're the one that started this shit bickering about the 8 inches per mile square.
Well, inch per mile square is approximation.
7.98 or 8 or 8.01.
Yeah,
that's
I'm saying
fucking bickering for what we're talking about.
No. I'm talking about the formula you're using is the formula for a parabola, not for a circle.
We understand that.
Okay, then fine.
But the difference is fucking fuck all.
It depends how far out you go.
What's the difference between a chord length and the arc segment with the radius of the Earth over 60 miles?
Probably a decent approximation at that point, correct?
Not the radius 60 miles, the radius of the Earth, but a chord length of 60 miles. What's the arc segment?
Okay, it's a decent approximation. I'll give you this decent approximation, but when Flursh say that, they say like it's some sort of.
That's the point that we're making.
Oh, it's an important point.
Everybody fucking knows that it's been made for years.
No.
You're not a genius. You're not the first one to point this out.
No, because Flursh will say that and say it like it's gospel.
But fucking uber honest about this.
Well, Flursh will say that like it's some sort of Bible because it's been said so many times.
Carry on, David. School this clown.
School me. You can school me if you were. That's funny.
All right, I'm going to give you a scenario, and you just tell me if you agree with what I'm saying. Okay, you just tell me when you don't agree with what we're talking about. Can we do that?
Give it a try, David. I doubt it's going to work.
Well, I know I'm talking about Wolfgang. Do you?
All right, are you ready?
Go for it, mate.
All right, we've got a.
I read what you wrote.
Hey, Shill, if you're going to address the guys in text, can you just type what your responses are? Because David's talking, you just butted in. Apology accepted. Carry on, David.
What is it that you don't agree with?
Are you able to gather yourself and start again, David?
We wanted to see if we could come together and have an agreement.
What did you not agree on?
Yes.
All right, so we agree that my way of testing the curvature of the Earth is 100% accurate. Do we agree or disagree?
I wasn't on there in the beginning, so I don't know what was your way.
All right, the number one problem with photographing and measuring the Earth using a camera is because of refraction, correct?
Wrong.
Because the pixel length. What's the number one reason then?
How long is a pixel?
I don't know. It's the pixels are the number of dots in a picture or something.
So you're gonna get reflection here or perspective? Which one do you like to describe this?
All right. Well,
Okay,
David,
all right, so we're
it's
back
not the
online.
pixel length, David. David, it's the pixel depth that becomes the problem. But go ahead.
Okay.
Pixels, pixels
yeah.
have depth.
Yeah, he's
And if
right.
you've got the right lens, you'll get pixel height as well.
I don't know anything about cameras.
Good catch, Waz. Good catch.
We got to get the details, man.
And if this is all presented by someone with a lisp, you get very confused.
I don't know what the argument is here.
Where's Litchwick at? Litchwick, are you still here?
I'm still here, but
Yeah.
there's no fun talking about this string thing.
What
Strong German accent in the mix is really going to help.
Hey, Litchwick, come on, man. Yeah. Let's have a little conversation here. And I know.
Yeah, let's talk about a football field. Let's talk about a football field.
It's going to be all right, Litchwick. We're just going to discuss how you would actually measure the curvature of the Earth. All right, that's all we're doing is a real experiment of how you would measure the curvature. Not looking at the stars, not looking at looking through a camera lens, not arguing, but actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
All right, well, tell us.
Just standing on a football field, there are the high poles with the light on it. You know that? A football field.
You're talking about the stadium lights that are around the
football. Very high lights.
Yeah, all the big lights around
and
the football
field. And you're standing close by the pole, and you're looking up. You can see the light above you. And then you go 20 meters away to the side or to the pole. If you're looking to the pole, to the light, where is the light?
I don't tell me.
It's always still up there.
Yes. It's still above your head 20 feet away from you now.
Yes. But that is how flat Earth has to look like. You can go where you want. You always see the bright light above you.
Listen, Litchwick. All right. I laid out a plan.
You're not living on a flat world.
Listen to me. I laid out a plan of exactly how you would measure the curvature of the Earth. At what point in this experiment do you disagree that this would be an actual measurement of the curvature of the Earth? Can you tell me?
I told you, flat Earth is done. You can't make a high in the sky bright light disappear. And it is not in scale. It's this this pole, this light, stadium light.
Litchwick, when you go to the beach and you look at the horizon, you look at the horizon.
I go out.
All right, so do we all agree that when you go to the beach and a boat goes out of your view that it's going over the horizon or going past the horizon because of the curvature of the Earth? Every baller believes that. Don't we agree to that? I can't do any more here, Chemo. They can't handle it.
Where's Paige
Alright,
Shill? Is he
so-
still around?
So you want to talk? I wasn't here for the beginning, so I don't know what your way to measure the Earth is. Which is that?
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out how to measure the curvature.
All right. I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
you.
but
All
he's
right. So
saying that his way is inaccurate. Which way is that?
do you believe the Earth is round? That's the first question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if me and you sit down and we're going to have a conversation, and somebody laid $1 million on the table, and it doesn't matter if you're a baller or not, me and you got to work together to prove the curvature of the Earth, right?
Yes.
Okay.
3 sticks, same line of latitude, wait till solar noon.
Okay. Well, you're not in charge. Okay. And what we do is we draw straws to see who's in charge, and the long straw, whoever draws the long straw wins. And I draw it, so I'm in charge of the operation, and you have to.
Then you're gonna pick some stupid. So what you gonna do? You're gonna like which one are you gonna do? Measure a wall or what?
Okay.
You take
Measure
your,
a lake.
take your short sticks and go hide in the shadows.
Like I'm telling you how to do it. You guys are coming up with some stupid shit, strings and walls and building. What's your favorite way now? It's not.
You don't have to take that from him, Dave. Give it right back.
Instead of asking over and over, I'll just let David go. Please go, David.
So me and him are working together. So we've got a camera. We know we can't measure the curvature of the Earth using a camera because we're not actually getting a physical measurement of the Earth.
Yes, we are. No, we are.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
With a camera.
With a camera.
With a camera. So when I go out on the beach and I take a picture, I can measure the curvature of the Earth through that camera lens.
Well, it's better if you get higher, but yes, if you do some calculations.
Calculations from what?
Well, you're basically trying to do an Alberuni experiment, only you need to be higher than on the beach.
David, stop running errands for this guy and explain what you're trying to do.
You don't know what he's trying to do.
No,
we'll never find out because you won't stop.
Because he's talking shit, that's why.
You're talking shit.
Oh, bullshit. You guys don't know what you're
Bullshit
fucking talking
on
about.
you, sir.
I told you 2 different ways to measure the curve of the Earth, and you refuse to do it because it'll ruin your stupid flat Earth religion.
You know, the biggest TV screen in the world is in Jerry World, right there near Dallas, Texas, where David is. He could easily go and use that to prove that the Earth is flat.
A television screen? A TV screen?
Yeah.
What's a TV screen going to prove the Earth is flat? Excuse me, explain this one to me.
You got to be kidding me.
How are you going to use a TV?
TV screens are
the biggest one in the world, mate. The biggest one in the world.
TV
Pixel
screens
depth,
are flat.
man. Pixel depth.
All they do is use bigger pixels.
It's about the depth, not the height or the width.
What do you mean by depth?
Or the emphasis. How deep they are. Something you don't really have any concept of. Depth.
Excuse me, a TV screen is a 2-dimensional image.
How deep have you been, mate?
Made from 3-dimensional material.
What?
Hey, Chemo, we got a real hard one here. I think it's going to take a lot of rehabilitation.
Well, that's because you're an idiot, David. I've talked to you
Beat 'em
before.
down,
You have no
Chemo.
idea what the
Beat
fuck
'em
you're talking
down.
about. So a TV screen, hold on a second. A TV screen is a 3-dimensional image. I saw that, Wolfgang, and this guy knows a little bit, but still, it's a parabola. It's an 8-inch mile squared is a parabola. Get over it. It's an approximation over.
How dare you, sir? The arrogance of you.
My arrogance.
This guy knows a little bit. That
Yeah,
is
Nick,
George.
you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yuck.
8-inch per mile squared is a parabola. Get over it.
Why is 8 inches?
If you don't know what a parabola is, what the hell are you here? See, you guys are all math impaired.
Why is that number so important to them? Why can't you just use a round?
It's a parabola.
A curvature calculator. Why can't just you use that? Just Google it and you can use it. Why is that number so important?
Quite frankly, NASA is wasting their money on you, sir.
Curved, if you had any idea what the hell you were talking about, I would listen to you. But you have proven that you don't know what the difference between a parabola and a sphere. You've proven that you don't know the traditional.
Whoa. Hey, back up, Cracker Jack. When did I prove that?
We keep on saying that 8 inches per mile squared describes the sphere, and it doesn't. It describes
That's
a
not
parabola.
what I said. You don't listen, do you?
Oh, I
You
listen.
don't listen.
I listen.
Oh, no, you hear what you want to hear. That is
Blue.
not what I fucking said.
Exactly,
You're
Blue. This
saying-
guy is
you're
an
saying
idiot.
it's
He doesn't
an
know.
approximation. You're saying it's an
No,
approximation.
you don't pay
But
attention.
An
You're
approximation
a
only-
fucking
is
dick.
I don't pay
only
attention to you
good for-
because you're talking. If you start talking some sense, I'll listen to you.
Smoking.
Yeah, here we go.
fuckwit.
Now go to insults.
You
Go to insults.
hyper-autistic douche.
Go to insults when you're losing the argument. Thank you very much.
That is not an insult. That
Yes,
is
it is.
just an
is.
observation.
Yeah, how do you know my sexual preferences?
You're a flat earther, Kurt.
I didn't say anything about your sexual preferences.
Oh, but they do have those. That last person who spoke a minute ago, they do have those flat Earth curvature calculators.
Yes.
Put along many a graph and image that's been done too. So we can just drop that idea of it being 7 or 8 miles per squared in whatever. It's all been done. Like, we've exhausted the whole concept already.
Good job, E.T. Drop some more bombs on him.
I just don't know why is that number.
What was that shit? I'm sorry. I just heard a bunch of garbage come out.
He doesn't listen. He's not even
talking? Why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about this anyways? Well, why can't you just if you want proof for one, for flat Earth or for globe, you can just use a natural phenomenon that you just you don't even have to get very specific, like an eclipse. What the hell is a lunar eclipse on a flat Earth? Like, how does that happen? You don't have to do any math. You don't have to do any trigonometry. You could just say that on a flat Earth, not a stationary flat Earth with the moon and sun orbiting above you, there's no way for a lunar eclipse to happen.
Absolutely. If you could see the sun right next to the moon, and the backside of the moon is not lit for some reason, or the sun, look what the hell is going on there. It's true. Yeah, you don't even need to use math.
On a lunar eclipse, you cannot see the sun and the moon at the same time. The sun is not visible.
What do you mean on a lunar eclipse you can't see the sun and moon at the same time?
I'm sorry. I must. When there's a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. On a solar eclipse, the moon gets in the way of the sun and the earth. On a lunar eclipse, the earth gets in the way of the sun and the moon. That's on a lunar eclipse. Is when you see the moon going black. Correct?
Okay, so far.
So how does that happen on a flat Earth? How is it possible for the Earth to get in the way of the moon on the sun on a flat Earth?
Exactly.
You don't have to do math. You don't have to do anything. That's an impossibility.
So tell us more about this lunar eclipse.
What else is there to tell you?
Just explain to us what happens as this lunar eclipse happens.
On a lunar, when you see a crescent moon, right? So you see like one arc of the moon lit up, and the rest of the moon is dark. That's the sun not reflecting all the light to the side that we can see of the moon. So you see that crescent side. On a lunar eclipse, the moon is completely black because the Earth is in the way of the moon. That's, you can just Google lunar eclipse so you can know what I'm talking about.
I may have mistakenly agreed with you. Sorry, David. Sorry.
So you're saying that the new moon, when the moon disappears for 3 days, that's a lunar eclipse. Is that what you believe?
I'm saying that a lunar eclipse happens. I don't know when the moon disappears for 3 days. I haven't digged into why that happens.
every single month the moon disappears for 3 days and then comes back?
No, it doesn't disappear. Don't give me that shit.
It doesn't
It
disappear.
disappears and nobody knows. It disappears and nobody knows where it's at.
It disappears
It
from
doesn't
your
disappear.
eyesight.
Don't give me that crap.
It just disappears
What do
from
you
your
mean
eyesight.
it disappears? What do you think? Some dragon eats it or something?
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
The PA just
There's no one.
Listen,
No one
that is
on
not
Earth
that
can
is not a
physically
lunar
see it.
eclipse. That is just the sun.
That's just the phase
on
of the
side
moon.
of
That's all.
moon. It's just a phase. Like when the sun reflects the light
That's what I asked
on the
you.
side.
When is
Wait,
your
let me
lunar
finish. Let me
eclipse?
finish.
I've
Let
never
me
seen
finish.
anything come in front of the moon
Google
like
it.
you're talking about, except
Put
for
You've never
lunar
seen a lunar eclipse?
Put lunar eclipse, and you will see images and videos of a lunar eclipse. It is not a new moon.
It has to be a full moon, as a matter of fact.
It's got to be a new moon. It's a
full
full
moon.
moon. So you're telling me I've got a full moon out, and then something happens.
Yeah, the Earth gets in the way of
moon
the Earth gets between the sun and the moon. Their
Okay.
shadow goes onto
Hey,
the moon.
I have an interesting question. Shouldn't that phase of moon happen over a 24-hour period?
No, it happens over a short period.
Well, I know that's what they say, but why doesn't it happen over a 24-hour period?
How come
Why-
I've
why
never
do you-
seen
why
one?
do you
How come
actually
I've
want the
never seen
physics
one of these
involved?
lunar eclipses?
Why are you talking about something else? Can you answer my question and then we talk about then talk about what you said? You can just say I don't know.
Can
I
I
don't know
stop
how
everybody
it's
just real
possible
quick and
flat Earth.
ask Chemo? Chemo, are you following this conversation? Okay, all right, go ahead, guys.
What's Chemo got to say? Nothing, probably.
No, just give them. Go ahead. So you think that I've got a full moon out at my house, right? Like last night was a full moon. So you're telling me that one day when I go outside, I'm going to have a full moon outside, and then all of a sudden the face of that moon is going to get dark and then relight back up. Is that what you're telling me?
Yep. You've never seen
My
that?
entire life,
I'm not telling you that.
How
that
come
is
in
going
my
to
entire
happen.
life I've never seen a lunar eclipse?
Because you live in your mom's basement and haven't gotten outside at night to when, I mean, these are actually well-published things.
Okay,
They happen
man,
relatively.
grow up, man. You don't need to use ad hominem attacks. Like
Well, I mean,
Chemo,
if he said he's never seen a lunar eclipse, I mean, how many people have never seen a lunar eclipse? They happen on a fairly regular basis.
I have never seen a solar eclipse either.
No, not solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse. A solar eclipse is a much narrower event.
Yeah, I'm saying that I have never seen a solar eclipse, but that's no evidence that it doesn't happen.
I saw the last solar eclipse, and I can tell you they happen.
Hold on a minute.
Exactly.
Chemo, have you ever seen a lunar eclipse with a full moon that goes dark and then lights back up to full?
Dude, put it on YouTube. Lunar eclipse. You can see videos of it. Are you saying those are fake too?
I'm asking Chemo a question. Chemo, have you ever... Yeah, we've seen a daytime eclipse in the middle of the daytime where eclipses happen, but I've never seen a nighttime eclipse where something has blocked out the moon and then the moon comes
Oh my
out.
God, are you serious on this? Are you conflating are you conflating the solar and lunar eclipses?
They're just saying that it doesn't happen because it can't happen on flat Earth.
Exactly.
I want to hear about you guys telling me that that I can have a full moon out, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere something blocks out the light from the moon.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
Real quick,
I've never seen it. I've never seen it either.
Yeah,
well,
David,
you guys
before I go get coffee,
basement,
David,
let Curvewater talk.
David,
let
I've never seen
Curvewater
a
talk.
Tesla. Does
David.
that mean they don't exist?
Okay, hang on real quick, and I'm out of your way. David, have you ever seen a golden gay time eclipse? You can do this anytime you want. Just take that ice cream, go out, look at the sun, stick the ice cream up in front of your face to block out the sun. That is a gay time eclipse.
Yeah, I've seen daytime eclipses. They're telling me this lunar eclipse is in
No,
the middle of the
gay
night.
time. Golden gay time.
Yes, it was an attempt of a joke. Yes.
Thank you, Waz. I appreciate that help there. Thanks.
The real thing, guys.
The next lunar eclipse was on May 6, 2021. How about if you actually get out of your mom's basement on May 6, 2021? If you live in America, you'll probably be able to see it.
You never seen one because you never like look. How many times a week do you just go to your?
No,
roof
actually, it
and
won't be
start looking at
visible from the United
sky?
States.
But the fact that you haven't seen one
Not due
doesn't
to
mean that it
January
doesn't
10th.
exist. There are many things that you have not seen that exist. Have you seen the pyramids?
No, we're not denying that it
They
happened.
exist.
We're not denying that.
Yeah,
We're just
well,
saying.
then why are we? Then why there's a guy saying that he's never seen it, therefore it doesn't exist.
Yeah, there is no such thing as a lunar eclipse. I don't see there would
Yes,
be
there
no way
is.
for it to happen.
Bullshit.
It's one of your made-up
Bullshit.
stories.
They fucking happen. May 6, 2000. May 6th. Get outside and look. Are you live in the United States?
I guess you've got a video of this lunar eclipse at nighttime.
I have plenty of videos. Go Google it.
I will believe you.
I cannot believe.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Thousands
Okay,
of videos
we've
on
got.
YouTube.
Hold on, just real quick. Okay. All right. So what we have on the table here is that we have people in this room that believe you can go out at night, have a full moon above your head, and then all of a sudden the light from that moon will slowly disappear, and then it will be totally blacked out.
Yep.
And then the light on the other side.
Actually, no, it'll be sort of reddish, but that's
shine.
Yep, sort of. It'll be sort of reddish. There it is.
Do you see it in chat, David?
That was the
I've
last one. The next.
I've never personally seen it, but like regardless of that, on the topic of eclipses, why the hell can you see the sun and the moon right next to each other in the middle of the day, and half the moon's blocked out from light?
You mean the phases? That's
I don't
different
know
than an eclipse. You're talking moon phase now. Do you actually not understand moon phase?
Oh, yeah, I understand, man. Okay,
Why
but
don't
I'm
you
talking
tell us?
about it's a very similar subject. Why?
No,
can you see the
well,
moon
similar,
and the,
yes.
and the sun and the sky right next to each other in the middle of the day. If you're so smart about moon
they're
phases.
they're never right next to each other, are they?
The guys that says that NASA fakes lunar eclipses. I posted an image in.
Actually, they are close. They are next to one another. Actually, during a total solar eclipse, actually, this moon gets in the way of the sun. And don't tell me those don't exist because I've seen one. You can't tell me you haven't. You didn't hear about that one. You didn't hear. Tell me solar eclipse. The moon is blocking the sun.
I'm not saying that's not real. I'm just saying what blocks out the other side of the moon adjacent to the sun, like
But
opposite
nothing.
side of the sun.
The moon is a real object.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying what causes that weird shadow thing on the opposite side of the moon from the sun, and they're both right in front of you. What's going on there?
Are you I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm not.
It's not as the impossible. It's not as the impossible eclipse.
No.
Are you saying the side of the moon facing the sun is lit up and the other side's in shadow? Are you asking why that happens?
I suppose so.
Yeah, because that's the way light works.
Really?
Because you're shining on that side.
Can I get a mic check?
It works.
Cool. Let me know when I can get work.
So the side of the moon facing the sun is lit up and the other side is in shadow.
Yes.
I know what you're trying to say, but there's been pictures taken of different angles where that shadow exists.
No. Well, I was just answering your question with the question you asked.
You're right. I didn't ask it properly. You're correct about that. And I take that back slightly. There's been pictures where the sun and the moon are in full picture within a photographic frame, taken with a real camera, no Photoshop, and the shadow does not line up with where the sun is. You would expect the light to reflect off.
Show me this photograph.
Can you give us a picture?
Many
where
of
this
them
happened?
taken. This is
Not
like
many. Show me one.
famous pictures.
Show me one.
I'm not going to bust open my files right now, but you guys should have seen this already because it's.
Show me one. No, if you're saying this exists, then please show me one.
I've never seen this. I don't even know what you expect. Like the part that is lit up, the part of the moon that is lit up by the sun depends on where the moon is and where the sun is relative to us. So
Okay. Well, here's another way. Here's another way to put it. Then I remember when I was like 8 years old and I was swinging on the swings at playground and recess, and I remember looking at the sky at like 10 in the morning or something, and I could see a full moon in the middle of the daylight, and I saw the sun out over the horizon, and I was like, "Huh, that looks weird."
Well,
I never even thought about it beyond that.
You saw a full moon at what? Were you up at
In daylight,
were
yeah,
you?
like,
Was
like
that night
around
or
noon or so. Like no, like
No,
10
not
or 11
noon. You
in the
don't see a
morning.
full
Yeah,
moon
10
at
in the
noon.
We're
morning.
like in the playground at
You don't see
recess.
full moon at noon. You can see a full moon in the morning
Nope,
or in the evening.
I've seen it. Nope, I've seen
No,
it many times.
you're wrong.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you are wrong. I'm sorry.
No.
I've seen that lots of times.
Not a full
I
moon,
saw
not
that
at
shit when
noon.
I was a kid before I even considered flat Earth being real.
Not a full moon, not at noon. It might have.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, hey?
No, your observation is incorrect.
All right. So it's a false memory? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's a false memory.
Oh, I guess you're right then. Okay.
So I posted a picture on the chat. I don't know if you can see it. So if you are on I don't know Brazil, you know where Brazil is on a map? Well,
I do.
Of course we know where Brazil is on the map. Go on.
Well, so if you are in Brazil, and if you're in Brazil, you can see that if you are that moon the one that has the letter A, you can see a full moon if you look at that, and then you can look at your right, and then you would see the sun as well. So I don't know what do you think your point is? On that image, you can see the A moon totally lit up, and the sun also. You can see both at the same time. So what's your point?
Is it me being addressed right now?
Any flat earther.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at unknown cassowary. Yeah, that's how it would work on a flat Earth. I save that picture. I like the elephants personally.
So we move on. So the when I asked about the lunar eclipse, your response is no, that those don't happen, right?
May 6th, 2021. If you live in the
We're
United
all
States,
individuals here, man. Everyone has their own opinion. You can't group us all
no,
together.
wait, you don't get an opinion about facts. Sorry, you don't get to make up facts.
I didn't say that. I just said that every single supposed flat earther here has their own perspective of the situation. You can't group us all together like that.
No, you cannot have perspective on facts. Either it happens or it doesn't. Now you can say that you have never seen a lunar eclipse. That's totally fine. But the fact that you have never seen one yourself it doesn't mean that they don't exist. And you can prove that they exist. You can prove that they exist because you can see thousands of videos, not put out by NASA, on YouTube by amateur people taking on their cell phones videos of lunar eclipses. Now, if you think that NASA is faking those as well, then we can talk about something else.
Okay, totally, yeah, and we're on the same page. Like, I just want to say personally, for me, I don't got to speak for anyone else. I agree. Like, just because you perceive something to be one way, it doesn't mean it's not. It's a fact one way or the other. I totally agree with you. And yeah, I think what the argument here is that a lot of people are postulating that there's something else going on than what's been described in normal science, for lack of a better term.
So I'm gonna post another picture so you guys can like.
Well, then I suggest that everyone make it put on your calendar May 6th, 2021. If you live in the United States, if you live in Europe, I'm sorry, you won't be able to see this one. But you'll be able to see it.
I live in Spain, so I'm not gonna see.
Yeah, you're not be able to see this one. Sorry.
Will
if you live in the United States, you'll be able to see.
Can we see it from England?
No, England will not be able to see this one. Sorry.
No, oh. So you're going to record this then, are you?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of videos out there. You want me to record it for you?
You're going to send a drone up as close as you can. Yeah?
I don't need a drone.
Why?
Why do you need a drone?
Want to get as close as you can to see what's going on.
No, I don't have a P9. I should get a P900 because that's the official FLIRF camera.
A P1000, not a P900.
A P1000? Oh, excuse me.
Get a camera with a decent sensor on and use something like a telescope and do decent pictures.
No, you don't actually.
Amateur-esque shit that the flat earthers seem to want to do for astronomy. But they're cool.
You know, you don't really need a telescope to see a lunar eclipse. It's actually better not.
You can see it with your eyes. So just to finish this, if lunar eclipse happens, then flat Earth is not possible, right?
No, not at
Of
all.
course, it's
But how does
possible.
That's
the
not
lunar
how that
eclipse
Please
work?
works.
explain.
That is,
Then please
How does
explain.
how
Please
does the
explain
lunar eclipse work on a
how
flat Earth,
there's
please?
a planet of flat Earth.
Because there's an invisible planet that goes in front
Oh, an
of
invisible
it,
planet.
behind
No,
it,
that's
That-
for
An
him.
that-
invisible
no,
Let's start
planet.
making shit up
What's
now.
your proof?
and
That's
you can't
What's your
absurd.
proof
see
of
it,
this?
and it
That's
only
completely
appears in front of the
absurd.
moon.
Yeah, it only
That's-
appears in front of the moon when it's necessary to describe a
That
lunar
is
eclipse.
irresponsible and immature.
Then it disappears and it can't be seen except for a lunar eclipse.
Finish sentences. It's kind of nice.
It can't be seen except for a lunar eclipse, and it disappears, and there's no way to see it because it's not opaque except when it needs to be opaque, and then it's clear again, so you can't see it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is what I've been told by flat earthers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the proof of this planet? Imaginary.
Oh, there's no
planet?
proof. That's
So
the
this
thing.
is-
You
this
can't
is the
you
problem.
can't prove it to be false because it's made up, and he's just making shit up as he goes along.
This is the problem with the
I
flat
don't know if you
earthers.
heard me
Like
properly,
the
Phil,
main
but
problem
that
with
was
it.
from
Whenever
other flat
they come
earthers,
to a
other
point.
flat
Wait, let me
earthers,
finish.
not me, I'm not a flat
Let me
earther.
finish.
I know I like to finish the sentence.
Whenever the evidence comes in like the undeniable, they either just say, well, it's fake, like you just proved. You say, those don't exist, or you just make up some science that nobody has ever proved anything.
Or they just
So-
invent some aether band bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, this imaginary planet thing, I first time I'm ever hearing this. If you have no proof of it, then you.
Yeah,
Have you
no,
ever heard about
most flat earthers don't believe there's some kind of fake planet thing floating and blocking out the moon. Just let's be clear about
Okay.
that. Most people
Okay.
don't believe that.
So how do you explain the lunar eclipse?
I can't explain it. I can't explain
Exactly.
anything going on in the sky. No, not exactly, man. You're being a
You
jackass.
can't explain it. You can't explain it. I understand you can't explain it.
Well, there's
Because
a lot of
the-
things that
the
you
ru-
can't explain either. Like we
what?
were just talking about. Like I didn't hear your response to the impossible eclipse. That's how
There is no
you see
such
the
thing as a
moon.
possible eclipse.
Yes, the moon and the sun right in front, next to each other, visibly in the sky in the middle of the day.
That is not an eclipse. That is not
Sometimes
an
without
That's
eclipse.
a solar
shadow.
eclipse. That's a solar eclipse.
Well, okay. Number one, why the fuck should that be possible at all?
Solar eclipse?
I mean,
What do you mean, why should it be possible?
oh man,
It
this
is
is so
possible.
crazy.
I saw it. The moon gets in front of the sun. I just saw the last one. It happened. I mean, you can't tell me it happened. Millions of people saw it when it happened over the United States. Was it like 5 years ago now?
We're talking about a shadow over the moon when the sun is right next to it at a different angle. When the
No, that's-
supposedly
show
the
me-
Earth is
show me
supposed
this
to be
picture.
blocking it out. Oh, there's hundreds of them.
No,
This
there's
is
not.
amazing.
Show me
Post
one.
one. Post one. Post one.
Post one.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll go to my
Yeah,
computer.
Google it. Google it. Post one.
I know what he's talking about, and I tried to take a picture of it, but they're too far apart.
I don't know this one. See, I like coming into these flat Earth rooms and hearing what's the bullshit of the day. This is a new one on me.
Yeah.
Have you
Oh,
never
this has
seen
been
this
talked
guy?
about for years.
Yeah, well, like I said, like it's the bullshit of the day. A couple days ago, it was spacesuits that they never test spacesuits in a vacuum chamber, which they do, and they never test.
Phil, who do you think's the flat earther in here?
What?
Who do you think's the flat earthers in here?
I'm
I
sorry,
can't
you're
understand what he's
garbled.
saying.
Hey, you're
Your mic's
garbled.
all bad, Dross.
Oh, who do you think the flat earthers are in here?
I don't know. And sometimes
He thinks all of us are, Dross, can't you tell?
No, what a muppet. I
mean,
thought he was an
leave-
idiot. I
Leave
just
him
wasn't
be.
sure.
Leave him be. Let him be his own muppet.
I'm a muppet. Love it.
I'm sure that he believes a lot of people are flat earthers in here.
Apparently.
So okay, so since your response to the lunar eclipse is it's fake, then I can talk about things that you know that are not fake, like for example magnets. So do you agree that the Earth has a north and south pole? Like flat earthers, do flat earthers agree that the Earth has a north and south pole?
Well, no one's really been around the world to actually verify and measure these. So, how can we agree? on something?
You can measure it with a compass, a magnetic north and a magnetic south pole, not the physical land.
Yeah, but
I'm
we asked
saying
for
that there
evidence.
Do you know that compasses go directed towards giant cores of ore?
What?
OAR. Yeah, like there's a giant
I don't know.
ore composite
I am
in
not.
parts of the Earth, and that
I
screws up
am.
the compasses completely.
By the way, you
Listen
mean
to me.
ORE, not OAR, and
Oh
ore
yeah,
like that
sorry.
is one you use to
I
rub.
admit I spelt it wrong. Yeah, but you know what I mean, though.
I am not. I am not a native English speaker, so I don't know what that word means. Or I don't know. Don't know what that is. But if it screws up the compass, it's because it has a magnetic field. So
Like iron ore, for instance.
compasses only react to magnetic fields. Like if you get a refrigerator magnet and put it next to a compass, then the compass will point at the magnet. Compasses point at the magnetic north. True or false?
Again, we're not as silly
I think
as...
probably false. It doesn't know the difference.
It wouldn't be wise for us to make these claims without, verification. When you say, "Do you agree?" This
By a compass, you can verify this.
Yeah, but can we go to the North Pole? We had
Dude, I could turn on my cell phone and use a compass. That doesn't prove dick all.
I'm not. If you let me arrive to my point, but before I arrive to my point, you must concede that a compass points at magnetic north.
Well, that's
so
the
that
thing.
the Earth
we
has a
don't
magnetic
know.
It's supposed to, but it doesn't necessarily always do so.
Have you been there? Is it sorry? Have you been sorry? Have you been there and verified this?
I'm not talking about the landmass known as the North Pole. I am talking about magnetic north. It points at magnetic north. However you move.
That's what I brought up. These ore deposits. It doesn't always necessarily point north. There's lots of areas in the Earth. You can look it up. It'll point to the most massive ore deposit in your area.
When not influenced by another magnetic force, will a compass point north?
So, sorry, again, it's like you're saying you must agree with this for me to move forward with my argument, when we just don't know. No one's explored the Earth at that length.
See, that's a start.
You don't
Let's
have
at least
to
agree
explore,
that we don't know. That's a hell of a lot better than us like yelling at each other about facts that nobody knows about.
You don't have to. By the way, there are thousands of people who go to the North Pole. Like there are tons of videos of people at the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the North Pole keeps moving too. It keeps moving. So what is the North Pole anymore?
No, the North Pole doesn't move. The magnetic North Pole moves.
Well, that's what I mean. But I mean, if we're going to be using compasses, like who the hell knows where you are?
So sorry, what was your next point after that anyway?
Go on, Kimo, you go. You overtalk me.
Yeah, but Cyber was making a point that we have to agree with something, and if we do, then what? Or if we don't, then what?
But you cannot agree that the Earth. You cannot say that the Earth doesn't have a magnetic field, because that's what the compass points to. Wherever that field is, wherever the North Pole is, imagine it being in the center of the sea. I don't care. The fact is that the compass points to it. The compass points to the North Pole of the biggest magnetic field that it has near to it.
Slow it down. So we know. So what do we have? So what we know empirically, definitively, we have a compass. It points somewhere. Now, do you know of anybody who has followed that somewhere to its fullest?
Someone that's been out on the ocean all their life and they are a fisherman.
No, but we're saying following the path.
I don't know anyone that would do that just to follow north or to see where it leads.
Of course, are you saying that if you had a compass?
That's besides the point. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm telling you that you can prove this in your own home that compass points somewhere. I don't care where that somewhere is.
Yeah, it points somewhere, but we don't know where.
Kimo, where are your manners?
Exactly. I don't care right now.
Take a moment. Mud Crab is here. Welcome back, Mud Crab.
Oh, hey, Mud Crab.
Kimo's too big of a dick to stop and just
apologize.
Say hello and welcome you back. So I've got to interrupt and look like I'm the fucking rude one because Kimo's got no fucking manners.
My bad.
Good to see you, Mud Crab.
Good to see you, Mud Crab. Absolutely.
Hey,
are you a deckhand, Mud Crab?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to try and interject, is that I do use the compass to find my way out in the ocean. If I didn't have it, I'd be still out there looking for where I'm going.
No, not saying that we can't use a compass, but we can't use it to determine what it's pointing at, right?
Then how can we use it?
I don't care. I don't care what it's pointing at. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you that it points somewhere, and I don't care where that somewhere is. That in the middle of the ocean or at the North Pole. I don't know.
Now we can agree with that.
But you have to agree that somewhere that it's pointing to is the North Magnetic Pole, because
whoa! You can't do that. You can't say it's somewhere and then tell us where that somewhere is.
I'm not telling you about the landmass known at the North Pole. I'm telling you of the magnetic north, the magnetic field. You know that a magnetic field has a North Pole and South Pole, right? Your magnet on your fridge has a North Pole and South Pole. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the ice. The ice.
I didn't say that. I said
I'm telling you that that a compass points somewhere, and that somewhere is a North Pole.
We don't know that. How do you know that?
Because when you take a magnet with a North Pole near to the compass, then the compass points at that North Pole. If you flip the magnet around, the arrow goes the other.
Go on, all right.
Okay,
fine. Let's see that there. Let's see someone do that.
I have a totally neutral question on that point. Just totally neutral. Why does it go north rather than south? Why?
Just because of the way you got the arrow point. You can actually get ones that point south if you want.
You just have to paint the other end, because the North Pole is attracted to the South Pole, and the South Pole.
No, they line up with the magnetic field lines.
What happens when you go below the horizon and now you're in the southern horizon?
Still points the same way, man. Doesn't change.
Still goes up to the North Pole?
It still goes.
It aligns itself with the magnetic field.
Well, for God's sake, isn't the magnetic field fairly even and parallel and all that? So, shouldn't it now when you go below the horizon,
more or less,
now stick to the South Pole now?
No, you don't understand. The magnetic field lines go between the North and South Pole. Have you not seen this experiment either? Have you guys totally slept through science class when you were in kids, or did you not? Did you get homeschooled or what?
We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about where does it lead. Like what he's saying.
What do you mean, where does it lead?
Like you walk around and it points at one point. We haven't seen that
No,
ever.
it doesn't point. It lines up with the magnetic field.
No. Sari just said you walk around this spot and it points at this area.
No, I didn't.
The needle aligns itself with the magnetic field. We have, by traditionally, or we've called one end north and one end south. That's totally arbitrary, by the way.
I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying when you point the compass and it leads to north, has anyone followed that path to its fullest?
Yes.
No. Who? Where? Let's see it.
Yes, they found the north. They found the magnetic pole.
Where? Who? Show this. This is what I'm asking you.
Shackleton.
And it keeps changing.
Can you show this instead of keep going on about you don't know what in school? We're asking about where does it lead?
Bird. David Hempelman Adams.
Yeah, F you for the insult, by the way.
Exactly, nothing, sorry. So, I'm not arguing, sorry, about what it... I'm talking about where does it lead to. You're saying it leads to this place. Somewhere, where? Where does that somewhere lead?
The North Magnetic Pole.
Right, now have you followed that compass to show this?
What do you mean? Turn it.
People have followed it to the North Magnetic Pole.
Are they being that silly or
Emerson
something?
did it. Shackleton did it. Ranulph Fiennes did it. David Hempelman Adams did it. Loads of people have done it. So what, Kibo? What's next?
Yeah, show it. Show that they went to the North Pole with the compass and it pointed.
I've already
Which
given you
pole?
information
The North Magnetic
to show
Pole.
that they've been there. Yeah.
The North Magnetic Pole and the North
Wherever you say it leads, show that.
Yeah. Okay. So what? It's somewhere over Canada, I think. Isn't it?
No, it's.
It keeps moving.
Yeah. Okay. Somewhere over there. Exactly. It's somewhere. Somewhere.
Yeah. The North Magnetic Pole moves. It's moving quickly now.
Didn't it go over to Russia now, I thought?
I don't know. It's been moving for a while.
Classified.
Hold on.
No, it's not classified.
If North is moving, then
No, the magnetic pole is moving.
If the magnetic pole is moving, then your east and west would be moved as well.
No, because now we have to talk about the difference between true and magnetic north.
Yeah.
Totally.
If the
You're
point
correct. It's over Siberia.
is magnetic north and it moves, then you'd have to move the base of the compass, and the east and west would move.
That's correct. That's correct. You have to correct for. You know how to use a compass. You have to correct for magnetic deviation. That's correct. Very good.
No, you don't. That's all nonsense. You follow the compass. Sorry, tactic.
But if you're heading east, you would be heading in a different direction.
That's
No.
right, Mabbit.
You know, okay. What are we? Are we talking about magnetic east, or are we talking about
a compass?
True east.
Just a compass.
Can
Follow
we
the
say
compass.
magnetic declination, please, and not deviation?
Okay,
There's
sorry,
enough
declination.
perversion around here. We
Thank
don't
you.
need deviance added to the conversation.
What? Hey, you actually know some stuff. How can you?
Because you think everybody here's a flat earther because you're an idiot.
Well
So I
said,
thought we made that clear. I thought we made that clear a bit earlier on.
Those
That
ad hom attacks are bad for everyone.
no, that wasn't
Okay,
ad
which
hom.
side
That
you're
was
on.
an actual observation of.
I'm
fact.
an idiot. I'm an idiot. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
an
right.
idiot too.
You're an idiot
We're all
because-
idiots.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
no.
You're still going over the point I was trying to make. I'm not. My point is not that the North Pole is at a specific place. I'm saying that the Earth has a North Pole. It has a magnetic North Pole. Wherever it is, it has a North Pole and a South Pole. You cannot have both on the same side of a flat magnet. Like when you cannot travel from a North Pole to a South Pole without going over the edge if the Earth was flat. The point I'm trying to make. I'm not trying. I don't care where you think the North Pole is. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. Look at the picture I posted.
Plus, no one said there
You
was
see-
an edge.
You
Fall
see,
off of in the first place.
there is a North Pole there and there is a South Pole there. You cannot have both on top. You cannot travel from the North Pole of the picture I posted to the South Pole without going over the edge. So the fact that you cannot do that, the fact that we can travel to the North and South Pole without going over the edge, that is evidence that flat Earth is not true.
Can somebody tell me how a drone has a compass when it's got 4 rare earth magnet motors in each corner, only centimeters away from the compass?
They cross.
So you're just going over. So you're just going over my point. So you just want to talk about drones.
No, I'm just wondering how it works out, a compass, when it's got 4 very powerful...
We can talk about that.
Mabbit, will you listen to the
We
answer?
can talk about that. We can talk about that after. We can talk about that after.
No, we can talk about it right now and be done with
No.
it. They cross multiply and cancel each other out. Next question, please.
My question. How do you go from the North to the South Pole without going over the edge? Because on the principle of anything that has a magnetic field that is flat, the South Pole is under and the North is on top. The North and South Pole are on opposite ways.
Because the magnetic energies are used as a measurement and nothing more. Like there's a lot of stuff going on with the magnetic field, but if we're going to use it as a measurement to detect the shape and size of our world, we can only use that to a certain degree. You know, that's not going to tell us the be all and end all of everything.
You cannot create a magnet. Like, you want evidence all the time, and you ask for prove it. That you have to make a magnet with the North and South Pole on the same side of the same side of the disk to claim that the Earth could be flat.
Okay. Remember when we talked about just like 15 minutes ago about like how compasses are directed towards the closest ore composite area? Like if there's a huge amount of ore in a certain continent and you're right next to it, it'll point towards that. Field. So all we know, I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm just saying at the supposed North Pole, quote unquote, there could be a giant fucking collection of crazy metal. And then all compasses, no matter where you are, just were directed.
We can use instrumentation to detect the difference between a local and a pole. So you can use a Gauss meter, for instance, and that will tell you the formation.
So you're saying that there could be a mountain of ore at the North Pole that no one has ever seen that can be detected.
Basically,
that,
or it
that
could be
can be
10
detected.
it could be 10 kilometers underground, even for all we know. But that explains a lot. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
So do you think that every country would have these same types of ore? Like, even though every country is different, has different
They've been
types?
detected. I don't have it. I don't know how to find it right now, but I was actually just looking at that a few months ago. There's certain areas in the world that have these giant ore composites, and if you fly near to them, like it screws up airplane compasses and whatnot. Especially like the smaller kind of airplanes, and it screws up compasses and stuff. It's a very real thing. I didn't even know about that till recently.
Those compasses, so it's screwing up the compasses that already have a set course. Now, if it were to be those ores that you were saying, why is it screwing up the compasses that are so-called pointing towards the ore?
Right, because I said, like, I don't believe this, but like hypothetically, there could be a giant mass of something up at the North Pole, which would lead everyone to think that that is the center of Earth or the top of Earth, whatever shape you want to use.
Right.
But
that's
again,
possible.
as I say, we don't see that because we've actually mapped the Earth's magnetic field. This is one of the things that's been
But
done
with
over the
very
last
big,
150
with
years.
antiquated technology, though.
And we keep doing it, and it's not just with antiquated technology; it's also with modern technology. In fact, modern technology we're pretty good. That's why I brought up the concept of a Gauss meter. We can detect magnetic fields. We know how to manipulate magnetic fields and utilize them to our advantage. So I think it's not unreasonable to conclude that if there was this mega problem that you think there is, and it's just because it's a large ore deposit, that magnetic field would not extend to the entirety of the Earth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there, because like you could go to the opposite end of Earth and still have the same compass. The compass would behave the same way. You're saying, right?
Exactly. And we can measure the magnetic field around the compass to see if there's anything else stronger. And then I could bring in a magnet to test and confirm.
I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm not trying to shove my ideas.
I don't have a problem with that at all, which is why I tried to give you a good answer, which was fair, nice, reasonable, and I didn't have to call you an idiot. Sorry.
And we did it from space too.
Some bloke took this selfie at the North Pole.
Okay, so I'm happy with your response.
It's an interesting idea, though, I will say.
I find it fascinating that the pole's moving as quickly as it is now. We've postulated, pole reversals, mainly from the expansion of the Central Atlantic Ridge.
Yeah, it is fascinating.
And the ore samples, and what will happen if it does? Because I thought that's kind of screws things up a bit.
You know what else is crazy? I think it would be a super positive thing, I believe, if people from two different sides of the spectrum can come together, like such as we're doing right now, and have like an adult discussion about the situation, rather than, what we often see, where people call and bully.
I totally agree.
I think it's difficult though when people try and assert things that are just radically so stupid or just so woo with no evidence, and they want to assert they're right. It is very frustrating for people, and I think that's why you see that reaction sometimes. Certainly from the Globe side.
Yeah, okay.
Why can't we have an adult conversation without being a bunch of poofters?
Let's talk about sex.
He tried to explain it to you. Sometimes you guys just say stuff that's just so damn stupid that you just have to smack your head and say, "What the fuck?"
It's like an insult to someone's intelligence.
Yeah, like the guy that said there was an invisible planet blocking the moon.
Yeah, that was me, and that was actually a story I was told by a flat earther. And I remembered it because it was so redonkulous.
I even buy the invisible planet, but it doesn't hide anything else.
Now, if they turned around and said, well, it's a polarizing filter and it's only when moonlight comes through it that it becomes solid, and that's why it's biting off chunks, at least that would have had some sort of scientific possibility.
Did you just say that Now Lemon's going to add it to his repertoire.
No, Lemon is a genius. You may disagree with his ideas, but he's a very
Lemon
smart
is a
man.
total and complete idiot. What are you talking about?
No, he's not. He's very
if he knew anything, well, he might be intelligent, but he's stupid. There's a difference.
How can you be intelligent and stupid?
No, you can be. You can be very intelligent and be very, very mistaken on your beliefs.
Okay. But I mean, okay, on that term of flat earthers, though, you guys want to talk about like false planets blocking out the moon and stuff? A lot of flat earthers believe that the whole thing is like a screen, like a television screen, like a curved television screen, for real. So you want to make fun of flat earthers, I just gave you guys a big hint then.
But again,
that would be one depth.
Yeah.
What place should that have in adult conversation?
Well, even if it was a screen, it doesn't work on many other observations. Even if it was a screen, like for example, there's a constellation known as the North Cross, and you can only see it from the southern hemisphere. I think it was from the southern hemisphere. And,
Southern Cross.
Oh, okay. All right, so
Yeah,
you
I
can
mean,
only
look,
see that.
you
You can only
wanna-
see that from the south pole, not the North Pole.
No.
Even if it
no,
was
no. None of what you just said is correct.
So you can see the South Cross from all around the world.
No, but
you can see the Southern Cross from places in the Northern Hemisphere. Yes.
Yeah, like Florida and that.
Oh, okay.
You have to be fairly far south.
And how high it is in the sky at the time that you're looking, where it is in its position about the pole, it varies a little bit. But yeah.
Look, can you have your little circle twerk later on and get your story straight later, Curved?
That you cross in the sky suddenly.
Yeah, can you get your story straight later?
Different.
Right now.
Hey, Chemo.
Yeah.
Chemo, I was fucking talking.
Yeah, can you get your story straight later?
Chemo. And guess what? You know, this would have been over with already, Chemo, had you not so rudely interrupted.
Yeah,
you
well, it's a nice circle.
Say it with me, Mabbit. Say it with me. Twat.
Got a nice circle twerk with you and Paige Shield saying, "Oh, you flat earthers say crazy
like
things."
It's time to overtalk Timo because he was overtalking Curved.
Yeah, well, you were having a little circle twerk and victory. It seemed like, and you're far from victory. If you Paige Shield think you have evidence, present it. Let's see that you've measured these things with 3 sticks and verified that claim. Let's have a look.
Now, who's twerking now? It's Chemo.
The Eratosthenes experiment has been done thousands of times.
Been done thousands of times. By who?
Hold on a second, guys. He's derailing the conversation on what we were talking about, which was around magnetism. Why the sudden shift? Why is Chemo looking to pivot away from this topic? When, you know, I don't know if...
Yeah, you've asked the question, Dress. I can answer that. You've asked me why. I can tell you why.
It's quite simple because it's
I can tell you why. You just asked me why. I can tell you why. It's very simple. Because after the magnetism conversation, you were having a little dance, a little victory. Oh, Lemon says this, they say that, these flat earthers are that. You came to a conclusion that you'd won something. So we're here to remind you that you haven't won anything, you haven't proved anything, you've had a little conversation about your mathematics, so what?
The major victory we actually had was E.T. and everybody else actually agreeing that we should have an adult, reasonable conversation.
Exactly. Have a friendly conversation about mathematics.
That was the big victory here. But thanks for letting me finish my point without having to overtalk me yet again.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. Maybe you should mute yourself for 5 minutes.
Well, I've just answered your point, and we're still dwelling on the little circle twerk that you're talking about.
While you interrupted Curved.
You're so victorious, aren't you? Aren't you, Paige Shield? We talk nonsense, don't we?
Yeah, you did interrupt to have your twerk.
No, we're getting back to the
Yes,
subject.
you did, cunt.
And you mute, well, you especially mute me every time I even whisper over somebody at the slightest fucking chance. Your own rules, hypocrite.
I've just told you why. I've explained why.
Yeah, but that's not a reason. You don't get to overtalk people because you don't like the way the conversation is
Yeah, but we were already in a conversation about flat Earth. You're going to have a little victory dance. We need to get back to the conversation, shouldn't we?
No one was having a victory dance, Kimo. I don't know what conversation you were listening to.
Well, we've got Paige Shields saying, oh, Lemon says this, flat earthers say that, this is what they're like. Well, if that's the case, let's prove our claims. Let's demonstrate that we're on a board, you've done the experiments, and you've validated it.
Done.
Cool. Prove what you claim.
How these guys are. Anytime that it gets close to them having that ability to understand the flat earth, it's like they have a mental breakdown. You guys need to just relax a little bit and just let it come naturally. Everything's gonna be all right. The Earth is
What about
flat.
when
Just don't
people
worry
just
about
say
it.
shit that's just completely wrong?
Like
And then
all the US
chemo has
ports
the
are shut.
fit because you take a second to correct it.
We were having a nice conversation, and then chemo came in to try and derail it.
Oh yeah, we were having a
Oh,
nice
you're
little
never
circle
been chemo. You're a shithead.
They
We're all
wanted
still
conflict
cool.
with paid
No, we're
shows.
cool. This is like Trump hatred. This is like hatred for Trump conversations. People freak out. Everyone just remain calm.
Well, the
Fine.
problem was that chemo came in with the intent of disrupting the conversation. That was his whole intent.
How are we supposed to
And
remain calm
he's a moderator.
when you're celebrating? Oh, Flat Earth is saying the craziest things. We need to defend ourselves, and we need to show.
Come on, guys. We need to get
Can we
back to the
stop talking about-
conversation and
Can we
start
stop
acting
talking about
like book
philosophy
through
here?
adults. Get back to
Chemo,
a
mute
book through
yourself.
adult conversation.
I like that too. Adult conversation.
Yeah, mute yourself, chemo.
So can we
You've done bad.
talk about facts and stuff?
And I'm reporting you to Gem.
You don't have to do that kind of stuff, man. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Fucking Jem's not going. You're just going to annoy him, Moyock.
That's okay. He should be.
He doesn't care. He's not going to do. He's not going to do anything.
Wait, no.
You're just going to annoy him.
Say something adult, ET.
Well, one thing I've always been concerned about is like the moon landing, supposed moon landings from the late 60s. I don't believe that at all.
Adult.
Oh, Jesus.
I said adult.
Are you serious?
How much more reality do you want to deny today,
Things
ET?
to say to draw some specifically.
I don't know. Are we still talking about flat Earth? Or you
I
guys
see
want to talk
Stacey
about
B's working
9/11
you
or
hard.
something? We can talk about 9/11
that
if you guys want to get an adult.
That has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, though. You,
Okay, well,
you
that's
could
why I
fake
brought
that
up
it
the
could be
moon
true.
landings, man.
And you need to be warned that it's a
I brought
fucking
up
honey
the
trap.
moon landings. I don't know what else I could do. Okay, let me think. I brought up the
Fuck's sake, you not hear me
impossible.
speaking, you prick.
I'd like to bring like a small point that I think we can just fly over it if you want. But do you know that flat earthers? Do you think that the space station is real? Is a real thing?
This is what I believe, and I don't want to be. I want to make this very clear. I'm not a representation of flat Earth or that community by any stretch of the imagination. I am not. But I sometimes think that the space station is real, possibly. I'm not sure, but just that though, what you call the vomit comet, it is possible to go high enough up where you start to float, like humans start to float around in these little spacecraft, right? That's real.
Wait, ET, hang on. Can you? Do you think the vomit comet works according to altitude, or do you think it works as a part of the parabolic flight that it takes?
I'm not exactly sure to answer that on like the level you said it. You're more mathematically versed than I am. I'm not very
mathematics. I'm asking you if you think that people floating in the vomit comet is a function of how high they are, or if you think it's because of their flight path.
I think it's to do with their altitude, as far as I understand it.
Wrong.
No,
because people were not weightless on the Concorde, and that was at 60,000 feet.
Okay, but what if you go? Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, like I'm open-minded, but I mean, no. To answer your question, I don't think it has anything to do with their speed or what. How did you word that?
Well, if you were up in the vomit comet and you were flying at the height of the ISS, you'd still have gravity.
Okay, well then, where does this footage come from? Where you have these guys floating around inside women?
Because the airplane is falling fast. The airplane is falling, and a parabolic arc is falling.
What's the actual name of that craft again? I can never remember the actual name of it. Vomit Comet is slang.
That's the nickname. They got rid of that one.
Yeah, it's a nickname, but what's the actual name of it? I can't remember it right now.
Parabolic flight. It's called parabolic flight.
Isn't it called a zero G?
It's immaterial to the actual discussion to it.
So, ET, on a scale of 1 to 100, and 100 being absolutely flat, where would you put yourself?
What?
I'm gonna say I'm out of 1 in 100. Where is it? I'm gonna say I'm 100% sure that I have a lot of questions.
That's just a dodge, mate. You're trying to get hit by.
No, now you're trying
to
to
get
trap
hit
me.
by a pitch so you can have a free
Now
base.
you're turning me into a rat, and you put me in a trap.
Don't be a rat.
I'm not gonna play that little game here.
Wait,
The point is, man,
your opinion.
we've been talking for hours now.
Come on, man. Can you give us a number?
This whole group, and we can't really agree on anything. So why would I fall into that trap?
He's not asking you to be into a trap.
Trap you, man. I'm just
numerically quantify the amount of your confidence.
Okay, I'll give you an answer. Somewhere between 1 and 99.
On the fence, then?
Nope, not at all. You know, right? You know, this is okay. You want to get me to like speak some truths, or in my head at least, like what I believe. That's what you want, right? So I'll tell you this: it's pretty hard to prove that the Earth is spherical in the way that they describe it in their measurements. Yep, it's hard to do.
I
man.
just got the impression from you, ET, that you had some doubts to its flatness.
Well, I mean, I'm open-minded because what I meant by that is that I don't know what the shape is. It could be a giant fucking sphere, the likes of which none of us could even comprehend. It could be a giant disc. It could also be the size of Earth as they describe, even though that doesn't really make sense anymore, does it? So I don't believe that. But I'm just saying, I don't know what the shape is. I don't know how big it is. We can't even get out to Antarctica with the Antarctic Treaty, where there's like tens of countries fucking blocking anyone from even going over there.
No, that is not what the Arctic Treaty said.
Well, ET.
That's not
What's fun for everyone?
ET, let's talk about something you do know for just a moment. Can you share with us your secret, how you've been so successful with women?
I don't know. I will tell you that. Just be yourself. It's very attractive. Yeah, I was blessed. I don't think I'm the ugliest guy in the world. I'm not like Brad Pitt or anything. Like I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but I'm okay. And then if you just be yourself and you have a funny personality and you just be yourself, women are attracted to that.
There's a 0% chance any woman that has not been drugged is attracted to you.
Oh no, no, he's
really?
amassed quite a number of victories.
I agree with that.
He knows his way around the ladies. Damn near what, a dozen?
11 actually. One less than a dozen.
Top that, motherfuckers.
So, ET, on a
like the first year of medical school alone.
On a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being a ladies' man, where would you put yourself?
Brilliant, Curve. Brilliant.
Somewhere between 1 and 99. Oh, wait. 1,000, did you say? Okay. Somewhere between 1 and 900.